the front of your left thigh, and make sure your ankle is on the outside of that left thigh. Lifting your left foot off the floor, and if you find that that's difficult to do, you can put a couple of cushions, or maybe if you've got blocks or books underneath that left foot to give it some height. That's an easier option just to support it. See if you can hold the back of your right thigh, keeping the shoulders and head relaxed on the floor, and then drawing the right toes towards your right knee, so flexing the foot. This helps with the knee joint. The lower leg of the left leg can be relaxed down. And then slowly guiding the left thigh towards you so that you start to feel a stretch, usually around the outside of the gluteal muscle area. And slowly breathing into it, taking the breath into where you feel that tightness. So imagine that you're guiding the breath and creating space. If you find that your leg has come closer towards you, you might want to bring your hands around the front of the shin, taking a little bit more of a stretch there. Long deep breaths. Keep the right toes pointing towards your right knee. Your left knee should be in line with your left shoulder, so just check that alignment's there. Sometimes it's easy for the hips to swing to one side. And with the exhalation, feel as though you're trying to move the sacrum, the tailbone back towards the floor, so trying to lengthen down into that space. One more long deep breath, breathing into where you feel any resistance or tightness, not forcing the stretch. Feel a sense of ease and softness as you exhale. Good. And then from there, just bring your left foot down to the floor. There's two options here. The easy option is to just keep that knee out wide, and then we're going to guide it over to the left. So keeping your left foot on the floor, rolling to the outside of your left foot, slowly take your legs over until your right foot touches the floor. If that's difficult, you can always bring a pillow, a cushion, and just slide it in under your left thigh to give you support. And if you want to go into that stretch a little bit deeper, then bring your left hand to the outside of the right knee. Just gently turn your head to your right, looking towards your right hand, extending your right arm out away from your body. And just keeping that guidance through your left hand, drawing the right knee over to the left. So you're opening up into that side of the hip. You might feel it down the outside of the thigh, the iliotibial band. We can often get a lot of tightness through that area. Try to keep that right shoulder softening back towards the floor. And as you exhale, just feel a subtle movement through the belly back towards the spine. So you're just finding length into that lower back. Breathing deeply into that right side. Allowing that right knee to maybe get a little bit closer towards the floor. If any of you want to extend into the stretch, you can straighten your right leg out along the floor and maybe just sliding your left hand down the outside of that right thigh, calf muscle, or maybe towards the ankle and foot. Again, flexing that right foot if your leg is straight, drawing the toes to increase the stretch. Two more long deep breaths, really softening, allowing gravity to release the body down towards the floor. Letting go of too much effort. Just finding more of a yin style where the body is softening and releasing, allowing it in time and with the breath. When you feel ready, just gently bringing that leg back up to the top and bring the knees parallel, feet are on the floor. And before we go to the other side, we'll just gently roll the knees from side to side, just a window wiper type movement. Keep the lower back pressing down a little to support the back. Good, and then just check that your feet are about hip width apart. Lengthen through the back. Bring your left foot across the front of the right side. Lifting your right foot off the floor, or if you need support, you can pop a pillow or a couple of cushions underneath to hold the foot high. Easy option is to take your hands behind the left thigh. And if you find it difficult to hold the thigh, you can always use a belt or a strap to give you more length. Moving that left knee away, so there should be a bit of a space there. So you take your left hand between your legs, threading the needle, and then holding the back of the thigh. Slowly drawing the right thigh towards you. Move the left toes towards the left knee, so you're flexing the foot to protect your knee joint. And the lower right leg is just relaxing down. Relax the shoulders, softening with each exhale. Breathing deeply through the left side of the body, through the left hip area, or where you feel the tightness. You're free to close your eyes and move that awareness into those tighter spaces. Deep breath. And one more deep breath in and out here. Sinking, softening into the exhale. When you're ready, slowly bring your right foot to the floor, keeping the legs in that position. Take your arms out to the side, and then gently guiding your legs over to the left until your left foot touches the floor. Again, if that's a little bit too strong, just bring a pillow under the outside of your thigh to make it a bit more accessible. Once you're there, if you want more of a stretch, you can bring your right hand to the outside of the left knee or thigh, keeping the left shoulder in contact with the floor if you can. Maybe turning your head towards the left, rolling the head into a comfortable position, and slowly guiding that knee over with each breath. Again, not forcing, finding ease and comfort at a healthy edge. And once again, just hugging the belly back in towards the spine to keep length through the lower back so you're not overarching the lower back. From there, if you want to go deeper, straighten your left leg out along the floor, slide your hands down the outside of that leg and maybe holding the ankle. Some of you might be able to hold your foot. Sinking down. Again, just letting gravity do the work here for you. Feel into your body where you might be holding on and see if you can soften those spaces. Noticing any subtle shifts through your body, really tuning in to those softer energies, sensations, releases. So one more long deep breath here, in and out. And you're ready, slowly just bending that knee as you bring it back up and over to the top. Just taking your arms back out to the sides again, and once again moving into that window wiper action. Turn your head the opposite way to your knees as you create the movement. You're inhaling as you bring the knees up to the center, and exhaling as you roll the knees to one side. Keep going from side to side. The next time you take your knees over to your left, hold it there, just letting the again, letting gravity do the work here. And if you're not really feeling much of a stretch around the outside of the right hip or thigh, then you may want to bring your lower leg, your left leg, on top of the knee or thigh to increase the stretch, and feeling length coming from the hip away towards the knee, so as though you're stretching away from you to find that length. Can be quite intense, so if that intensity builds up, then simply release that top leg. Also be aware that you're not overarching your lower back, so tug the belly in a little bit just to support the back. Letting your head roll to the right, just feeling a little twist come through into the neck as well. Feel free to close your eyes and that awareness into where you feel sensation, and imagine that you're guiding the breath and maybe guiding the prana, the life force energy, into those spaces, energizing, opening up the energy channel. And then slowly coming back, so release that top leg, bringing that leg back up. And before we go to the other side, just bring both knees up to the chest, releasing the lower back. You may even want to do a couple of circles each way, just to soften that area. And then bringing your feet back down to the floor, arms out to the sides, guide your knees over to the right, turn your head to the left. You can stay there if you're feeling enough of a stretch, or feel free to bring that right foot on top of the left thigh, slowly creating length away from your left hip down towards the left knee. So really opening up the IT band here. So research is showing that we can store our emotions in the connective tissue, and there's a lot of this tissue around the hip area, also around the gluteals, the glute muscles, around the buttocks, and the sacrum, the tailbone. This also correlates to the sacral chakra, the energy center situated around the pelvis and the sacrum. And on a psychological level, it is said to be the seat of the self, or our emotions, relating to our emotional intelligence, how we deal with our emotions. And this is developed in our early years, from about 6 to 24 months of age. One more deep breath here. When you are ready, slowly bring that top foot off the left thigh, and then gently guide the legs back towards the top. Taking the knees out wide as you bring them up towards you. You can hold the shins or the back of the thighs is a little bit easier if that's difficult for you. You can just keep the thighs close to the calf muscles, or if you want more of a stretch, just bring the soles of the feet together. You can hold around the ankles or the feet, or you may need to hold around the backs of the outsides of the legs to be accessible. Just drawing the feet towards your body. Even holding underneath the heels might be a little bit easier, and use the arms against the inner thighs, gently guiding the legs out to increase the stretch. So play around with it, find what works best for you. As you exhale, push the knees outwards as you draw the feet towards your body. Keep the neck comfortable. Breathing deeply. One more breath here. And slowly releasing the legs down.